I interviewed a guy named Wes Watson who spent 10 years in the California State Penitentiary. And he has a phrase that says, life is one big gratitude test. And he says that whenever you should always realize that life is happening for you, not to you. And this is a guy that's had a hard past. And so that's his look on gratitude. And I was wondering how you look at gratitude, because I know you talk about false gratitude and true gratitude, and you've been teaching this for a long time. And I was wondering if you could share some of your ideas and how you came up with them.
Well, first of all, I was born on Thanksgiving Day. So that probably had something to do with it. And when I was 4 years old, my mom was putting me to bed. And she said, make sure you count your blessings before you go to bed and think about what you're grateful for, because if those that are grateful for things, they get more to be grateful for. And so that was kind of implanted in my thinking very young. But I really didn't formally focus on gratitude until a bit later. And then I started accumulating on a daily basis, starting around 17, 18, on documenting what I was blessed by that each day. And I called it, had the opportunity to, And I've got now 25 volumes of that. And it's probably there's over 5,000 pages of just gratitudes, 10-point print, 1-inch margins of daily gratitudes that I keep. Wow. And I'm a firm believer that when you do that, when you're really balanced and you're centered, you are grateful. You know, if we look up to somebody and we infatuate with them and we minimize ourselves, we're not being authentic and we're not seeing them as they are. And we look down on people, we exaggerate ourselves and minimize them, and neither are authentic. But when we actually look across with a reflective awareness, with some equity, and our heart opens, we realize that they're worthy of love. Nobody's worth putting on pedestals or pits, but everybody's worth putting in hearts. And when that state's there, it's just you're resonant, if you will, and you end up having more, sustainable, fair exchanges and transactions that start building momentum and they expand opportunity. So I'm a firm believer that if you document your gratitudes, it definitely adds to the opportunities and the contribution in life and the reciprocation that you get back. So I'm a firm believer of that because I've seen the results of it and I got it all documented, and it's really amazing what happens when I always say gratitude is the key that opens up the gateway of the heart, and inside the heart's love. And love window washes the mind as it radiates out. And that brings an enthusiasm to the body and more certainty and presence to our own existence. And then we end up having opportunities that magnetizes, and the synchronicities of people, places, things, ideas, and events into our life that synchronize with what our innermost dominant thought is. We create things that are very fulfilling.
Wow, so it all starts with gratitude.
Yeah, I think that gratitude is a great door opener for our existence.
And for when you meet people that just have a hard time getting in touch with gratitude, or people that don't know how to practice it, like, what do you tell them? How do you kickstart that off?
Well, there's 15 delusions that I find that leads to people that shut off their gratitude. They have expectations on people to be one-sided. If I went up to somebody and I said, and just anybody, I just walked up to them and I said, you're always kind, never cruel, always up, never down, always positive, never negative, always peaceful, never wrathful, always considerate, never inconsiderate, always generous, never stingy, always giving, never taking. Would you believe me? They'd go, not really. Because they immediately, intuitively, like a thermostat, think of the sides when they were not that way. If I said you're always down, you're never up, you're always negative, you're never positive, you're always taking, never giving, always stingy, never generous, always inconsiderate, never considerate, always wrathful, never peaceful, always negative, never positive, they would have the same thing, but they would think of their upsides. If I said sometimes they're kind, sometimes they're cruel, sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're mean, sometimes they're positive, sometimes they're mad, they go, yes. They'd have a sense for that balanced state that they have both. But whenever they are putting an expectation on themselves or others to be one-sided, they set themselves up for unrealistic expectations that are unobtainable or sustainable. And as a result of it, they end up in gratitude because they have the anger. I call it the ABCDFGHs of negativity: anger and aggression, blame and feelings of betrayal, criticisms and challenges, despair and depression, the desire to exit and escape, frustration, futility, grouchiness and grief, and hatred and hurt. And we create those as a result of an unrealistic expectation that we project on others or on ourselves to be one-sided. Or if we expect that individual to live in our values, or expect ourselves to live in somebody else's values and not be authentic to ourselves, we set ourselves up that undermine the gratitude attitude. And we also do that on objects. We could do that on an ATM machine or a computer. I've seen people get really angry at a computer and call it stupid, and I'm starting to think maybe they're reflecting on something.
Right.
But we put unrealistic expectations out there, and it erodes the natural yearning to unexpressed thank you.